Letter 471, by Charles Lamb. 19th Jan, 1829. My dear Proctor, I am ashamed to have not taken the drift of your pleasant letter, which I find to have been pure invention. But jokes are not suspected in Boeotian Enfield. We are plain people, and our talk is of corn and cattle and Waltham markets. Besides, I was a little out of sorts when I received it. The fact is, I am involved in a case which has fretted me to death, and I have no reliance, except on you, to extricate me. I am sure you will give me your best legal advice, having no professional friend besides but Robinson and Talfourd, with neither of whom at present I am on the best terms. My brother's widow left a will, made during the lifetime of my brother, in which I am named sole executor, by which she bequeaths 40 acres of arable property, which it seems she held under covert baron, unknown to my brother, to the heirs of the body of Elizabeth Dowden, her married daughter by a first husband, in fee simple, recoverable by fine, invested property, mind, for there is the difficulty, subject to leat and quitrent. In short, worded in the most guarded terms, to shut out the property from Isaac Dowden, the husband. Intelligence has just come of the death of this person in India, where he made a will, entailing this property, which seemed entangled enough already to the heirs of his body, that should not be born of his wife. For it seems by the law in India, natural children can recover. They have put the cause into exchequer process, here removed by certiorari from the native courts, and the question is, whether I should, as executor, try the cause here, or again re-remove it to the Supreme Sessions at Bangalore, which I understand I can, or plead a hearing before the Privy Council here. As it involves all the little property of Elizabeth Dowden, I am anxious to take the fittest steps, and what may be least expensive. Pray assist me, for the case is so embarrassed that it deprives me of sleep and appetite. M. Burney thinks there is a case like it in Chapt. 170 Sect. 5, in Fearn's Contingent Remainders. Pray read it over with him dispassionately, and let me have the result. The complexity lies in the questionable power of the husband to alienate. I had another favor to beg, which is the beggarliest of beggings. A few lines of verse for a young friend's album, 6 will be enough. M. Burney will tell you who she is I want 'em for. A girl of gold. 6 lines, make 'em 8 signed Barry C. They need not be very good, as I chiefly want 'em as a foil to mine, but I shall be seriously obliged by any refuse scrap. We are in the last ages of the world when St. Paul prophesied that women should be headstrong, lovers of their own wills, having albums. I fled hither to escape the Albumian persecution, and had not been in my new house 24 hours, when the daughter of the next house came in with a friend's album to beg a contribution, and the following day intimated she had one of her own. 2 more have sprung up since. If I take the wings of the morning and fly unto the uttermost parts of the earth, there will albums be. New Holland has albums, but the age is to be complied with. M.B. will tell you the sort of girl I request the 10 lines for. Somewhat of a pensive cast, what you admire. The lines may come before the law question, as that cannot be determined before Hilary term, and I wish your deliberate judgment on that. The other may be flimsy and superficial. And if you have not burnt your returned letter, pray resend it me, as a monumental token of my stupidity. 'Twas a little unthinking of you to touch upon a sore subject. Why, by dabbling in those accursed albums, I have become a byword of infamy all over the kingdom. I have sickened decent women for asking me to write in albums. There be dark jests abroad, Master Cornwall, and some riddles may live to be cleared up. And 'tis not every saddle is put on the right steed, and forgeries and false gospels are not peculiar to the age following the apostles. And some tubs don't stand on their right bottoms, which is all I wish to say in these ticklish times, and so your servant. We do not know the nature of the bite that Proctor had put upon Lamb, but Lamb quickly retaliated with the first paragraph of this letter, which is mainly invention. In his old acquaintance Mr. Fields wrote, he Proctor told me that the law question raised in this epistle was a sheer fabrication of Lamb's, gotten up by him to puzzle his young correspondent, the conveyancer. The coolness referred to between himself and Robinson and Talfourd, Proctor said, was also a fiction invented by Lamb to carry out his legal mystification. At the end of the first paragraph came some words in another hand. In usum infiefments, whereof he was only collaterally seized, and c. Beneath which Lamb wrote, the above is some of M. Burney's memoranda which he has left me, and you may cut out and give him. Proctor's verses for Emma Isola's album I have not seen, but Canon Anger says that they refer to Isola Bella, whom all poets love, the island in Lago di Maggiore. This is a list of the contents of Emma Isola's album, All Autographs, from Quaritch's catalog, September 1886. Charles Lamb, What is an Album? A poem addressed to Miss Emma Isola. To Emma on her 21st birthday, May 25, 1830. Harmony in Unlikeness, without date. John Keats, To My Brother, a sonnet on the birthday of his brother Tom, dated Nov. 18, 1814 or 1815. William Wordsworth, She Dwelt Among the Untrodden Ways, 3 verses of his poem on Lucy, copied in his own hand on March 18, 1837. Blessings Be With Them and Enduring Praise, 5 lines of a sonnet dated Rydal, 1838. Alfred Tennyson, When Lazarus Left His Charnel Cave, 4 stanzas, undated. Thomas Moore, Woman Gleans But Sorrow, and Note to Moxon, June, 1844. Leigh Hunt, Apollo's Autograph, from an unpublished poem called The Feast of the Violets, undated, circa 1838. Thomas Hood, Dreams, a prose fragment without date, circa 1840. James Hogg, I'm a Geen Rang, a song by the Ettrick Shepherd, circa 1830. Joanna Baillie, Up Quit Thy Bower, a song undated, circa 1830. Robert Southey, Epitaph on Himself in Verse, Feb. 18, 1837. Thomas Campbell, Victoria's Sceptre O'er the Waves, circa 1837. Alan Cunningham, The Pirate's Song, circa 1838. Charles Dibdin, and Albums Like The Dream of Hope, circa 1827. Bernard Barton, To Emma, with a note by Charles Lamb at foot, 1827. Walter Savage Landor, To Emma Isola, circa 1827. Barry Cornwall, To the Spirit of Italy, circa 1827. Samuel Rogers, 2 Letters and a Poem, My Last, 1829-36. Frederick Locker, afterwards Locker-Lampson, a quatrain dated July, 1873. George Dyer, J.B. Dibdin, George Darley, Matilda Betham, H.F. Carey, Mrs. Piazzi, Edward Moxon, T.N. Talford are the other writers.